Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined by top ranks Carl Moretti. Carl, look, what an incredible fight. We've just seen Teofimo Lopez produce a stunning performance against Josh Taylor. Just give me your initial reaction to what was a brilliant fight, an exciting fight.
It was a brilliant fight, brilliant performance by him, as you said. I'm not shocked that he did it. Everybody else is. All this noise that was going on, he shouldn't fight, he shouldn't do this. That's the outside noise that doesn't really know what goes on in a camp. And he isolated himself for 11 weeks with his father and great sparring partners and strength and conditioning, and this is the result.
Was all the build-up, all the talk, all the things he was saying, was some of that him, or do you think it was a bit like smoke and mirrors, as in throw it out there but get people thinking, you know what, he's not in a good place, and he turns up and produces something like that?
Yeah, there's that term, crazy like a fox.
Yeah.
Well, he was that tonight because there was no sign of him ever breaking mentally. And I think when you see somebody at the weigh-in just stare back and not mouth off, there's a lot of confidence, but that confidence is built from the 11-week training camp.
How did you score the fight? I know when a couple of them cards got read out, there were a few people saying
I was
a bit close. Do you think that was a bit generous?
Very generous. I had it 9-3, 8-4 at the most. 7-5 is absolutely ridiculous. I was getting texts all day, all night, from it that, I thought that only happens in Vegas, but, to see 7-5 twice is scary. I had it 9-3, maybe 8-4.
What do you think Teofimo does from here? He's obviously now, he's back on the throne, he's got the belt. What would you like to see him do? Last time he obviously had that victory over Vasily Lomachenko and things went sour with him against Kambosos. What do you want to see him do now?
Nice long vacation, see what he wants to do and what he wants to fight. And we'll try and fight anybody he wants to get. And other champions at 140, that means something. Devin Haney would be great.
That's a huge fight.
Huge fight. Let's see what everybody wants to do. Let's see who calls out Teofimo as opposed to whatever, because he's the guy at 140 right now, just like he was the guy at 135.
Let's just come on to Josh Taylor just for a minute. What do you think his next steps are? A lot of talk about him potentially moving up in weight. He's just had a lot of time out the ring. He's had a new training team. Not taking anything away from Teo. It was Teo's night tonight. But in terms of the next step for him, what do you think would be the best sort of course of action?
He has to go back and decide that for himself. Whether it's at 47 or stay at 40 where there's still names, you can still make big fights for him. I think at the end of the day, the layoff was more of a factor than everybody thought it was. People talked about Teofimo's last two fights and how he didn't look good. But you forget when you're in the ring and you're fighting, it counts for something. Whether it's Sander Martin or Pedro Camper, that's 2 more fights than Josh had. And that counts for something on a night like this.
Let's just quickly talk about the state of boxing at the minute. We're in this era now where I feel like we are getting fighters taking a few more risks. How important is it now that after 2 fighters of the caliber of these two have stepped in the ring that we don't completely down the guy who's come out on the bad side of the result here, because this is ultimately what we want to see, the best fighting the best in every weight division.
Yeah, and I think you're getting that for the most part, and hopefully it continues, because there's no downside to losing. I mean, you wouldn't want to see Josh Taylor fight again, even though he lost tonight? I mean, my God, so what? He lost. So what? Take some time off and come back. If guys get that through their, understand that in their teams, that it's okay to take a risk and lose, then it's the better for everybody. And hopefully that stays the case.
Absolutely. Well, look, Carl, I appreciate you giving us your initial reaction. Thanks for talking to Boxing Social, and hopefully we'll catch up again.
Yeah, thank you.